Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar index on the daily time frame. And the first thing I want to point out here is that I just recently drew these two very narrow parallel channels here, and independent of this previous set of channels here, but oddly enough, they are very, very similar in slope. Anyway, that's what I just wanted to show you. And this is currently the group of channels that we are traveling upwards in from that huge crash we had unexpectedly. But, what can you say? We did really overshoot that gap fill of around 57.7 that we were looking at. Remember, I drew this circle here, and that was our target. And oddly enough, let's switch to maybe an hourly. Oddly enough, our target was either the yellow line here or the red line here. And what's really, really funny is that we almost hit it from the underside here. Let's see, that was at, like 57.7. And from the underside, we came up to 56.8. Pretty close. And we're sitting at about 57 right now. But yeah. Oh, what's really, really interesting is for a long time, let me pause my video. Looking at this liquidation heat map here, I had been, eyeing this $50,000 leverage belt right here, this band of leverage down at $50,000, and often wondering if the bears would ever have the gumption to get down there and liquidate those guys. If it was even possible, excuse me. And apparently they took advantage. They took advantage of the yen thingy, and by now, the war, the blah 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 blah, recession. First of all, everybody thinks we're going into a recession because of a couple sets of employment numbers that first of all are not accurate, and they adjust those things, they revise those things all the time, and wildly, with wild swings. So it's just so crazy that everybody jumps on that, and it's all doom and gloom. Anyway, the market is recovering from the FUD, from the nonsense. And the Bears took advantage and did come down. Like $1 billion in liquidations. So here we are. And after this whooshoo, whooshoo, like that, we seem to be traveling upwards in these, see, we're on an hourly, upwards in these channels here. It's fair to say, for right now, anyway. And here we are. Now, I do want to show here how we have been, other than those two channels, we have been testing all these lines perfectly. And I've been watching this on the way up, and I was just hesitant for a long while to get back in to some positions because the fear of the whatever's going to go on in the Middle East. Now, it seems that it has turned out to be not as big of a deal just from reading headlines. I don't get into. You know, excuse me. The news is all a bunch of bullshit anyway, and they just say stuff. You really got to read between the lines, and it's all just to get you to their pages to support their advertising revenue. It's really a bunch of bullshit. Um. Anyway, it seems not as big of a deal as initially we think. I mean, I'm sure Iran's gonna do something to get revenge, but probably not devastating as far as civilians are concerned, or like dropping a bomb on Israel and wiping out, like nuking them or whatever, borrowing a nuclear bomb from Russia. Or, I suppose everybody could get a nuclear bomb these days. I don't know. So you can see, and actually, if I even go to a 5-minute chart, I wonder if that would be even better. Where is our low? No, 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 no. There we go. I don't know if it's better on a 5-minute chart. But yeah, like here you can see how we have tested a lot of these lines. Five minute. It's hard to understand if you don't know what these lines are and everything. It really is. Might look better on it hourly. There's our big dump. So you can see here on the hourly, we're trying to hold this blue line, lost it, came down, and tried to hold this blue line, and we lost that. We lost that and just dumped. Stopped briefly at the center line here, but continued to dump. Kind of stopped around the bottom of the blue line. And then they said, hey, no, let's not stop here. Let's go down and liquidate those 50,000 people. And actually, this red line here, we should have stopped there. That's about 52. And you can see coming back up, we did act as resistance briefly and then support. And that's the bottom of you should know this, it's the bottom of this big parallel channel. It's hard to see everything, I understand, but here's the bottom of the channel, and here's the top of the channel at 68 and at 52. It's essentially the bull flag, if you can call it that anymore. Channel we've been traveling down, oscillating up and down in since whenever, May or whatever. Now, while I'm zoomed out here, let's switch to a 4-hour. Maybe I can explain these lines. So you can see these blue channels here, heading this way. Those are our major blue channel group. And then you can see this bright green line, our parallel channel here, which is the bad parallel channel. Remember that we didn't want to be in that one. We were in that one briefly up here somewhere, and we held it as support. And then we were traveling in this blue parallel channel. That was the better one, heading down this way. So those are the main channels I want to look at right now. It's this little blue parallel channel heading downwards, which was the good one. As long as we were holding it and traveling through it, that's good. And these other blue channels that we've been traveling in since June of 2022, I'm pretty sure. So when we zoom in here, what we did here is hold the bottom of this blue channel as support. Where's the center line? The center line of this bottom here, this blue channel, is right here, starting at 56.5 and heading upwards over on the right side. It's about 56.7. And then that other blue channel, you can see here, this is the center line of that blue channel. And we are currently at the top of that blue channel, attempting a breakout. Attempting a breakout of that downward sloping blue channel. And if we get that, I think it's quite possible, since we are also holding above the center line of the upward sloping blue channel, that our next stop would be the top of the upward sloping blue channel, and that's at about 62,000. By the weekend it'll be at 62,000. Currently it's at 61,000. Now the bottom of the Gaussian channel is at about 60,000 right now. So I do think that once we break this support here, or resistance, there's a good chance we could shoot right up into the Gaussian channel, kind of bounce around in this area between 60 and 62, possibly over the weekend. Of course, you know, war and stuff like that could have an effect on it, depending to the extent of what happens. And I think, you know, that's what the market is waiting for, why we aren't seeing a more robust recovery right now, because there's a couple things the market's waiting for. They're waiting for a resolution or something to happen in the Middle East, and they're also waiting for the CPI data that comes out next week. And that comes out on the 14th, Wednesday, marked by this yellow vertical line here, dashed line. So, I mean, this is cheap for Bitcoin right now. I can't imagine us staying down here. I do think we will continue upwards. I think there's a good chance that we break above this line today and shoot up to the bottom of the Gaussian channel. We also have this red center line and this yellow center line. Those are both center lines of that larger downward sloping channel I talked about earlier, between 52,000 and 68,000, that we've been traveling in since when we hit our high. When we hit our high at 72 or 73 or whatever it was. So quite possibly we get hung up in here somewhere. Well, we'll find out. Now, Well, you can't even see here on the 1 hour. We had come up here earlier and pierced this blue line on 2 different hourly time frames, but saw a severe rejection. Now there's a lot of leverage up here at around thought it was around 57.4-ish, something like that. We'll check in a second. And those guys were just powerful enough to knock us back down. Now I do believe we're just hanging out for the next half hour for the U.S. market to open, and I think that'll be the catalyst to drive us further upwards. We'll see. I mean, we could get rejected here, and if we do, possibly come back down to this pink line. Now the pink line is part of our that's part of the group of lines, the pink parallel channel lines, of which this white parallel channel here which is the most important channel in Bitcoin history, from which we start all parabolic bull runs. So this is where we need to get to start our bull rally, and it probably starts around 75K. I imagine that we will come up above 72 and maybe consolidate below this channel for a bit before busting through, and then we'll probably just bust straight through here and begin our parabolic bull rally. Don't know when that's going to be, but oops, I just moved something. Damn it. Move back. So let's get back above 60,000 first. Let's worry about that. Now, oh, so this pink line here is the bottom of that's the bottom, and here is the top. The top is around 65,000, and the center line of that is currently right around 60,000. So zooming in here, yeah, there's the center line right around 60,000. So I imagine we could get rejected here if we find support on this. Well, we'll probably find support if we do see a rejection either on the pink channel here, on the blue center line here, or the blue center line here, all of which are good. If we do that, if we find support at 55.5, 55.6, we find support even better at 56.2, or if we find support even better at 56.8, those are all good and would signal a continuation upwards. Most probably. I mean, we'd at least see a bounce from these areas back up to the top of this blue channel. We need to break this. This is our next goal right here, breaking this. And it's a much bigger deal than you would think. See how we got this pink channel acted as, the pink line here acted as resistance. And then we held it as support right here. So that's good. You can see we close these candle bodies on it. So I'm sure that will be support right here if we do come down. And that would be by the end of the day, we could come down to 56.2. We may wick below that, but probably hold candle bodies there. Now, currently, we're forming a green candle. We have a minute left. A lot of times, we'll form a green candle on the hourly, we'll form a red candle, we'll form a green candle, back and forth, back and forth. So, hopefully, that's not the case here, because the U.S. market is going to open. And hopefully that'll get us, we're very close to this blue line. And if you look at it on the 5 minute, you can even see more clearly how we were trying to get above the blue line here. You can see better on the 5 minute chart how these lines, see, even right now we are having trouble getting through the center line of that channel I most recently made. And probably will have some trouble until the U.S. market opens at 13:30. Not too far away, right about there. And then we could just shoot up through there. All right, well, I just wanted to get my ideas out there to you. I really don't think that we're going to dump below where we did before. Possibly, depending on the severity of what goes on in the Middle East. But I think it would just be very, very brief. And it would be the final capitulation of what everybody's waiting for. And once it's over, they're like, oh, okay, let's go now. And the market will move. Now we are getting above that. That's good. Look, we went right through it. Isn't that funny how we struggled there? We got blocked on that 5 minute candle. And now with our new 5 minute candle, we're shooting through it. So that's what I love watching. It's really, really funny. So that's good. We're coming right back up to this blue line. That's the one, 57.6. And man, are we going to do it right now with this candle? Oh, it's a new hour too. It's a new 6 o'clock hour. Or whatever o'clock. 1300. Well, I better get back to bed for a little bit. Yeah, see? Where we wicked up to here in the past, traveling up in this channel, now we're going to come up higher. In this hour, if we come up to 57.8, I want to show you something. 57.8 just barely gets the first bit of this leverage above us. 72 million, it says, on the 12-hour Bitcoin liquidation heat map. So that's that. Oh, now we're going down. Yeah, see? Green candle, red candle, green candle, red candle. Let's see what the U.S. market futures is looking like. Well, U.S. market futures are up a percentage or more, or slightly less for the Dow. So that's good. All right, so I'll leave it at that, and let's see what happens. And I am so busy right now. I just want to add, I hardly have any time to do anything. So I'll try to get a video out as soon as I can. All right. See you next time.